Redcastle in Donegal was a hub of excitement on Saturday evening as the seaside village played host to the penultimate round of the Dunlop National Rally Championship, the Donegal Harvest Stages Rally. Although newly crowned national champion Tim McNulty was absent, the new Group N tarmac champion Gary Jennings headed the competition in his Mitsubishi. The Subarus of Kevin Barrett and Niall Maguire were next in line, ahead of a host of two-wheel drive machinery, all vying for championship points in their respective classes.
It's time for round 9 of the Dunlop National Rally Championship, the Donegal Harvest Stages Rally. The crews are just about to leave Redcastle here to go and tackle 9 difficult stages, and these weather conditions are going to make them more trickier.
So with the overall title already claimed by Tim McNulty, second place was still up for grabs, and Kevin Barrett just needed 5 points to claim the runners-up spot.
Well, Kevin, the championship has been wrapped up now, so maybe a bit of a recreational event for you today.
Yeah, I think we need to get 5 points here just to secure second place. But look, it's always a good run rally, so we'll be having a go as well.
I think the country's talking about it, Gary. You're out for the win today.
Yeah, I think we're here to have a good push out of the day. You know, unfortunately we come in a Group N car, but I think especially with the conditions it should us, you know. So yeah, it'll be interesting. We'll know after the first one.
Despite his absence, Sam Moffat claimed the Motorsport Safety Team Group N award as rival Robert Barrable was competing in Scotland. But still out for Class 4 honours was Shane Maguire.
Yeah, Sam and James had a great year, and congrats Sam on winning the championship. So we'll try and get up in at first in the class today, hopefully, so see how it goes.
An epic battle was on the cards in Class 14 with Wesley Patterson hoping to keep ahead of Washington James amongst others.
Wesley, you did take the lead at the last round in Clare, but it certainly is still all to play for in your class.
Yeah, we've got to get a good result here in the class and not wrap it up today. If Washington gets a good result as well, we'll both have to go to Skibbereen.
So despite the inclement weather, the spectators were out in force for the first loop of 3 stages. The loop proved very successful for Gary Jennings, navigated by local man Rory Kennedy. The Enniskillen native set fastest time on each of the 3 stages to hold a 21-second lead at the first service halt. With conditions so treacherous and with only 5 points required to claim second in the championship, there were no heroics from Kevin Barrett, who held third after the opening loop.
Straight through Crossroads 100. Straight crest 40, crest into dip and right into crest 60. Through dip into right into crest 60. Through Crossroads 300.
Niall Maguire regretted his tyre choice for the opening loop, but he still managed to emerge from the mist in second place.
Flat left, 160, left over crest, okay, 40, 1 right over crest, keep in, 100, 3 left, slowing 40, 5 right late, 3 left, slowing 45 right late, the sign.
It was a very challenging opening loop for Gary McPhillips, who had to contend with a damaged back axle on stage 2, but finished the loop in 5th place overall and led the two-wheel drive race.
Conditions very slippery, so and we got to the end of the first one, and then through the second one broke a bolt in the back axle, so it left her a bit twitchy on us. But we still got through the stage safe, and we're happy enough for the minute. Change tyres now and try and get a bit softer. And but it's very hard to get a tyre to suit them conditions because it's that shiny a tar. So, but we'll give it another go after service and hope we keep steady.
Keeping steady in these conditions was proving a difficult task, as Rodney Wilton found out after a number of overshoots left him 9th overall and 4th in Class 14. Wilton was far from the only one to struggle on the opening loop. Wesley Patterson had a number of overshoots, including one on stage 2, which left him stuck in a ditch for over half a minute.
Wesley, I don't believe you have time for caution, but you nearly have to be cautious on those stages, don't you?
Those are 2 slippiest stages I've ever been on. I went wrong on the first junction, we overshot it, and I just got worse after that. So, but before the end of that stage, we got it going again, and we're having a good cut, but come down the T junction, square right, and so spinning the heads backwards and stalled it. Couldn't get the car started. Had to wait on the spectators pushing us out. So, management passes, we dropped over 30 there. So, second stage with the first junction again, with an overshoot, just can't get the car to slow. So, we're going to put softer tyres on there.
Luckily for Wesley, his Class 14 rival Washington James had an even more torrid time on the first loop. Faulty wipers being the last thing one needs on such a day.
Well, Washington, the pressure's never off for you, and I know you're still battling for championship points as well.
Yeah, the wiper blades, well, the wipers packed up on the first stage, so we had to do the other 3 then without the wipers. So we're struggling. We lost about a minute, I think.
And we also witnessed that overshoot on stage 2 for you.
That's very good. It's always on TV when you do that.
I hope there'll be no more of those mistakes later on.
We've had 4 today, so I'm sure there'll be more.
First of many Donegal men to tackle their home stages was Manus Kelly, who trailed Gary McPhillips by just 3 seconds after the opening loop. Not going quite as well was fellow Donegal man Declan Boyle, who was outside the top 10 in the Limelight Mark II.
40 up the hill, 2 right, absolute 100. Absolute crest, 200 up the hill. Watch her skip here now. 100 is it? Up to the square right at the pole, remember? Have you? Slippy 5 right. Slippy 5 right. Slippy 5 left long.
Also outside the top 10 were Draperstown's Camillus Bradley and local navigator Crawford Henderson.
Eating, turn tight square left at the chapel. Feels inside, outside. Easy. Let her run down, handbreaker.
Shane Maguire's hunt for maximum Class 4 points wasn't going to plan, as he lay 3rd in class and 14th overall.
How did the first loop go for you?
No, not so good. With 2 spins in the first stage and then a middling time in the second one, so don't know about the 3rd stage yet what way it went.
So a tyre change now?
Tyre change now and a bit of work done to the car.
Leading Group N and holding 4th overall on their home event were Trevor and Kenny Bustard. Pat Kirk and Peter Ward were 2nd in Group N and 10th overall after the opening loop. Local crew Brian Brogan and Mac Walsh held 7th overall and 3rd in Class 14. First of the Class 13 machines was the escort of Michael Conlon. The Monaghan man held 2nd in class after 3 stages. With championship rival Sam Smith absent, Frank Kelly was hoping to take over the points lead with a win in Class 13. But as for many, the opening loop proved treacherous. The Tyrone native held 18th overall and 3rd in class after some costly moments. Things weren't going to plan for Martin McGee either. The Donegal man was outside the top 20 after stage 3. Faring much better was fellow Donegal native Declan Gallagher, who held the Class 13 lead and 8th overall. Another class leader on his home event was Joe McGonigal in the Class 6 Citroën C2.
Joe, sometimes the most dangerous stages are those that you know best.
Yeah, definitely with a few moments this morning, but push sort of paid off anyway, and hopefully we can keep it going.
Still in the hunt for the Class 14 championship, John McQuaid held 6th in class and 12th overall for the moment. In Class 11, Meade's Peter Wilson had a troublesome morning before eventually retiring with mechanical trouble.
2 right times over crest jump 60. Then crest jump into bump dip long into crest jump and 1 right at the top 80. 1 right at the top 80. Then 1 right long long 40 and caution. Left over caution, left over jump into more jumps.
It was so far so good for Donegal's Daniel Breslin, who held the Class 11 lead going into the first service halt, where we caught up with the overall rally leader, Gary Jennings.
It's a bit of a lottery out there, you know. It was dry here, and we got to start the stage. It was just teaming, you know. So yeah, we're happy where we are, you know. But I know rightly, if it dries up a bit now, it'll be a bigger battle.
Were you happy with the tyre choice you made this morning? So
no, I was happy enough with now on the third stage, but not on the first and second stage. I don't know what to do now. I don't know to put another line on the tyre or not. But maybe if it stays off, if it clears up here, maybe a bit more, maybe just run her the way she is.
Might be a brave decision.
I'll see what I'll do. I'll scratch my head for a couple of minutes and see what happens.
So a cautious approach for the rest of the day?
Hopefully, we just need to gather 5 points. That's really what we're here looking for. So hopefully no heroics and try and get around.
And that's how the leaderboard looked, with 3 stages down and 6 to come.
Well, it certainly is still all to play for here at the Donegal Harvest Stages Rally. Stay tuned to see, will it be Jennings weekend?
Welcome back to Redcastle in County Donegal for part 2 of the Harvest Stages Rally. There was a welcome respite from the rain as the second loop of stages got underway. Leading from the front was Gary Jennings in the Mitsubishi, but the Enniskillen man was matched for pace by Niall Maguire on the repeat loop. His lead now reduced to 20 seconds. Kevin Barrett's quest to secure the runner-up spot in the overall championship came to an end after the second loop. His mechanics discovered a fault in the engine which forced his retirement.
Right on the crest, okay, 100. Right at the crest, 80. Crest into 1 left, slowing. 20 turn sudden, 5 right, shiny at last pole.
Kevin, unfortunately, those 5 points no longer possible for you.
No, we just discovered we have a problem with the engine there, which is after blowing out a plug. So we just can't take a risk. Just do too much damage to the engine if we continue. So no, fortunately, looks like we have to go to Skibbereen.
The respite from the rain proved a brief one, and the brollies were soon raised again during the repeat loop. It didn't seem to bother Niall Maguire, though, who matched Jennings on stage 4 and 6 and was outright fastest on stage 5 as he looked to close in on the top spot.
Here, help and left uncut. 5 right out of it. 5 left. 5 right. And square right, tightens over crest uncut.
Fellow Monaghan man Gary McPhillips and Gary McNern were also on a mission. They climbed from 5th to 3rd overall and extended their 2-wheel drive lead over Manus Kelly and Donald Barrett to 8 seconds. Rodney Wilton opted for caution as he held firm in 9th overall and 4th in Class 14. Eager to make up for his morning's mishaps, a concerted effort from Wesley Pattison over the second loop saw him climb from 15th to 11th overall. It was even a longer way back for Washington James, who managed to climb from 28th to 23rd overall in his Daria. Declan Boyle was up to 12th overall and 7th in Class 14 after the repeat loop.
1 right over crest, deceptive, back off. Back off, 250, back off. Down to 1 left over crest here, and you're backing off now for very slippy 3 left. Back off. Declan, down to 3 left, keep in.
Also gaining a spot was Camillus Bradley, now up to 10th overall and 5th in Class 14.
1 left, 120, over bumps, line long 1 right, and keep right, over Wee Brow, 120 downhill, over bumps, 3 right plus at the bottom, opens.
Shane Maguire climbed to 2nd in Class 4, but was still a long way off the pace of Trevor Bustard, who held the Group N lead and 6th overall.
Yeah, so far so good, and we were going good. That second loop there went well and no real problems. You know, we had a wee bit of problem with the car heating there on stage 4, but we put a bit of water in there and we got it cooled down. We seem to have no problem since, and we're going good. I think we're still maybe holding fourth overall and in the lead in Group N, so we get good points today if we can finish now the next three, so going good.
It's just been nip and tuck all morning there, and Gary took 6 in the second last one. We went flat out in that last one. We only managed to take 1. Like, he's a tough operator, Gary. Like.
I'm trying very, very hard out there, and I think Niall took a second out of us some 2 stages and we equalled in 1, you know, so we have a good lead, but no, we can't relax at all.
The day may have proved a long, hard slog for spectators and competitors alike, but with championship points at stake, it could be worth all the effort. Sadly, Kevin McLaughlin went home empty-handed after a non-finish in the junior class.
5 left, that's it. There's a 5 right then, and that crest, and only 60. That's it. 1 left, and 80, and bumps, and there's a 2 left, 130 up the middle, and a 1 right and a crest, and a 2 right in the crest.
4th in class was enough to net the Junior Rally Championship title for Monaghan's Jono and Porrick Dougal in the Mark II. Victory on the day went to fellow Monaghan man Chris Snow and Sean Brunton in the Honda Civic.
And flat right over the crest, into flat crest, 130 down to a 3 right at the fence. Flat right 130 down at the fence, you'll see it. 3 right coming up in ya. Into dip, and 3 right over crest and jump. 3 right coming up on you here, 60. And lift over crest and jump 130 up.
It was a home win in Class 1 for Niall Toomey and Quaylen Gaffney in the Toyota Yaris. 2nd in Class 2 netted the Border Class 2 title for Adrian Cannon, and 3rd overall for navigator Derek Heaney. Winners of Class 2 on the day were Stephen Bradley and Graham Henderson. Local men Martin and John O'Donnell took the Class 3 win in their later spec Civic. Eamon McCafferty took the Class 5 border title with a win in Donegal. Joe McGonigal and Aidan Friel won Class 6 and finished 18th overall in the Citroën C2. Damien O'Reilly secured 3rd in the overall Border Drivers' Championship with a Class 9 win in Donegal. The Class 10 win netted 2nd overall for fellow Monaghan men Aaron McQuaid and Aidan Coyle. Last seen at the hands of rally legend Vincent Bonner, this Corolla was driven to 2nd in Class 11 by local man Patrick Boyle.
170, 1 left. Now watch this crest up here. 150 up over the crest. You know it. And the next one that's coming on is a 5 right. 2 left and the 5 right. Stay right. Stay right. 2 left and the 5 right. Come off her. Come off her. 5 right. Settle yourself. 5 right. 40 into 4 left.
Having led the class for most of the day, Daniel Breslin retired before the final loop. Terry McGonigal and Mark Curran took the Class 11 win in the Civic. It was a fantastic result for Monaghan father and son crew Arthur and Matt Kearns, who took the Class 12 win and with it the overall Sligo Pallets Border Championship title. There was no joy for local crew John Dolan and Raymond Scott, who retired their escort after stage 1.
Turn tight square left of the wheel. Tight square left. Just drive it all, stop it there, just drive it. 40, 4 left. 60, 3 right, tightens.
Fellow Donegal crew Drew Hunter and Colin Doherty finished 5th in Class 13. A broken manifold in the Talbot Sunbeam meant that Jeffrey Dolan and Conor Murphy had to settle for 4th in Class 13. Alistair Cochran went 3 seconds quicker to take 3rd in Class 13. 15th overall and 2nd in class secured the Border Class 13 title for Michael Conlon and Aidan Boyle. Having led the class all day, it was a disappointing non-finish for local man Declan Gallagher in the Starlet. 12th overall and 1st in Class 13 leaves Tyrone's Frank Kelly and Cork's Lee Brennan leading both the Class 13 and two-wheel drive points tables, with just one round to go in the National Championship. John McQuaid and Seamus O'Connor finished 11th overall and 3rd in Class 14. 10th overall and 6th in Class 14 secured the Class 14 border title with Donegal's Declan Boyle. Cavan's Rodney Wilton and Conor McMahon finished 9th overall and 5th in Class 14. Wesley Patterson and Martin McGarty edged closer to the Class 14 national title with 4th in class and 8th overall. Tying with Patterson but winning the tie-break because of a quicker final stage time was Camillus Bradley in 7th. Donegal's Brian Brogan and Mac Walsh took 2nd in Class 14 and finished 5th overall, behind fellow Donegal crew Manus Kelly and Donald Barrett, who took the Class 14 trophy and finished 4th overall. In the four-wheel drive section, engine trouble in the Class 8 Lancer forced Andrew Mullen's retirement on stage 3. Also retiring from Class 8 with engine trouble was George Baskin in the Volkswagen Golf.
2 right over crest, 2 left king take a line, flat crest 60, stay left on crest, flat 100.
Galway's Pat Kelly took the Class 8 trophy after an eventful day in the Subaru Impreza. The older spec Impreza of Michael McCallan took the win in Class 15. In Class 4, Stephen Fury and Trevor Graham took 4th spot and finished 16th overall. Pat Kirk and Peter Ward took 3rd in Class 4 and 14th overall. Kay Maguire kept his Class 4 national title hopes alive with 2nd in Donegal. A broken drive shaft on the final stage proved costly for Trevor and Kenny Bustard, but they held on to take the Class 4 trophy and finished 6th overall. Back to the overall battle now, and not for the first time, Gary McPhillips gets a spot on the podium with the 3rd overall finish in the two-wheel drive Escort. 3 fastest times by Niall Maguire over the final loop weren't enough to take the win in Donegal. He had to settle for the runner-up spot, just 5 seconds behind winners Gary Jennings and Rory Kennedy. Gary's performance on the opening loop gave him a good cushion, and he held on to take his 2nd win in a row at the Donegal Harvest Rally.
The lead right from the very first stage has been fantastic. By God, are we not trying there this evening, you know, when it started to dry up and Niall started to go very hard there towards the end, you know, so yeah, we had a great battle.
Another popular result was Gary McPhillips' two-wheel drive win with co-driver Gary McNern.
Well, what a result, Gary. You put in the work and you got the result.
Yes, I know we had a brilliant run there and over the moon with it. With a lot of new components today, so I had with a new navigator and new engine, new suspension, new tyres, so it all went, everything worked well, and we got to a bit of trouble to start, but through the day.
It was a sweet result for Trevor Bustard, who netted the Class 4 trophy on his home rally.
Well, I was never as delighted to see the finish line. We nearly had to be pushed from the finish line there to get going again, but we got up through the stage and we're delighted just with the Group N won today. So
there's confirmation of the results after a very challenging Harvest Rally.
That's round 9 of the Dunlop National Rally Championship complete, and congratulations to Gary Jennings and Rory Kennedy, who put in one hell of a day's work to take that win today. It's Niall Maguire who bags the maximum points for the championship, and he'll take those to Skibbereen. We'll be there in a few weeks' time, but for now, for myself and the rest of the crew here in Redcastle, see you soon.